It was the summer of 2008, I think, and me and my friend Tim, we always wanted to ride 100 miles. So we finally just picked one day in June, and we were completely unprepared for it. We just threw some snacks in the backpack. We were dying. It was hot, it was a headwind, and I was like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe people do this, and then some for like the Ironman triathlon. So finally we finished, thankfully. It ended up being a little bit over 100 miles. But now I was talking to my friend Jimmy Becker on the phone a couple of weeks later. And I was telling him about the ride and how it was so fun. I loved the challenge.
Mike threw out the idea of doing a camping trip where we would bike and camp out and then wake up the next morning and bike to our next destination and doing a week-long camping trip. And so one idea turned into the next idea, which turned into eventually coming up with the proposal of biking for a cause. And right off the bat, both of us agreed that it would be a worthy cause to bike for the pro-life cause and to bike for babies. And so it was pretty easy for the name to come from that, Biking for Babies.
So I'd never done anything like that before, so I was a little uncertain about what that would look like, how much work that would require. And that fall, me and Jimmy talked to our friend John Paul Dennons about what that work would look like and also like what pro-life charities we could ride for. So we got the ball rolling from there, and that spring break we did our first Biking for Babies ride. After that, all in response to that first 100-miler, that one hot summer day that me and my friend rode. So when Jimmy first proposed the idea of what cause to ride for, it was almost pro-life, no questions asked. We didn't really entertain any other causes, although obviously there are a lot of great ones out there. I think it was just had a lot to do with the fact that we were both raised in very pro-life families who take the cause very seriously and try to do our own little part to supporting it. So Jimmy and mine's mind, it was simply that, well, this is our own small part that we can play in this pro-life cause and our mission.
A lot of worthy causes. There's a lot of good things, and I'm sure a lot of people experience that, where they see the good in a lot and they have a difficult time figuring out and trying to determine where to utilize their efforts, time, and money, as far as asking the question like, what is the greater good, or what is the greatest good? And even before recognizing the blessing that we receive through our baptism, we have to recognize the fact that God gives us a life. And with that life, He gives us purpose. And we are here and created for a reason and a purpose. And so it begins at conception and in the womb, and that's something that needs to be protected and defended. And so that is why we thought it was worth the while and worth the effort to fight in this effort and to work to unify the pro-life cause.
So one of my favorite theologians said something along the lines of, what does your life have to do with the stars? And to me, the pro-life cause really speaks to that life philosophy per se. I don't want to live a life when I look up at the stars, I think about lives that were lost that could have been saved. And to me, the pro-life cause is the ultimate response to that, to looking up at the stars and seeing that beauty. I want to try to, convey that same beauty amongst other people. The thing that really motivates me, especially in the last, 40 miles of a day, those are usually the toughest, is just really trying to bring to mind the hardships that the mothers and the children that we're riding for, trying to bring to mind the hardships that they face.
Really what inspired me was just recognizing the state of affairs of our current culture. John Paul II refers to our culture as the culture of death, and challenges us, as he challenged the youth during World Youth Day, to promote the dignity of the human person and it all starts at conception. And so, as John Paul emphasized, woe to you if you do not change the culture of death to the culture of life. And I firmly believe that it's within the capacity of our generation to make that change. We know what our purpose is. So regardless of what happens to us, we know that we're fighting for something that's greater than us. And so that makes it worth it. I think what I enjoy most about the ride is the adventure. You never know what to expect. You never know if you're going to wake up to the sunshine or to the rain. In the past years, we've done it over spring break, and usually, since we're up north, it's still a little cold, and so you never know what the conditions will be, and even if it might be snowing. This year, it'll be a sort of a different surprise in that we'll be doing it over the summer, and so I like the sense of adventure. I appreciate that, and just the fact that we're working together in this effort for something that's beyond us is something that I enjoy.
I think the most fantastic part of the ride, I've definitely loved every year, is being able to see your final location in the distance. First year we did Chicago. That is obviously really awesome. Being able to see the Sears Tower coming in as we got closer and closer. And this year, the Champaign skyline will be able to encourage us the last 20 miles. So, it's unbelievable the adrenaline rush that you get when you finally see the conclusion of the physical part of your goal. So since it was the first year, it was just me and Jimmy. So I had plenty of time to grow in my relationship with Jimmy. It was pretty good. I think we'd always do a rosary each day, chit-chat a little bit. But otherwise, me and Jimmy just worked off each other for the most part, encouraging each other along the way. Jimmy's a very intense guy, kind of like me. So, like I said, we work off each other with those kind of, go-to phrases or something like that.
It's always hilarious riding with Mike. He's got quite a personality and just adds a lot to the trip in the sense of just his humor and his quick wit and his personality in general. And so just in a couple years ago when we were riding, there was never a dull moment.
I think that we all have different roles to play in the pro-life cause. Some of us it's riding the bike for a few miles, or some of us it's just, keeping our prayers from day to day. And obviously when possible, it's really fantastic we can, donate money towards this cause to the people who, give their full-time jobs to supporting this. So, that's why we're riding for Living Alternatives and Students for Life, as well as a Women's Care Center, so that hopefully we can collect some financial donations for these great charities and continue to move the pro-life cause forward in much more quantifiable ways.